I just had to find a new use for this broken pot. I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. I did think about a hedgehog hotel, but I have to say, it looked a little bit cramped inside. And I began to look at it and think about it. I've had it now about nearly 12 months. And I began to think about house leeks, hens and chicks, and I thought they could just spread themselves all over it. But it didn't quite come off for me. So I looked and I went out and I bought this plant especially for it, brought it home, put it in, and it was sedum tricolour. And I thought it would do the job. But when I actually put it in there, it filled the pot and it looked quite nice. But I thought it didn't do the plant any justice anyway. So as I was wandering around the garden centre, I came across, and they looked absolutely beautiful, were Lewisias. And I'd always sort of taken a wide berth of Lewisias because there'd be more failures than successes with these. They're a succulent, but they come from California, the northwest coast, Pacific, and they're used to reasonably cool conditions, drying winds that keep the neck of the plant when it goes into the ground, to keep that quite dry. But they're beautiful plants. But I thought, why not? It looks perfect. Just have a go for it. So I went back and tempted. I bought a couple more, and they come in several colours. I think it's limited to about 4. But as I say, they're beautiful plants. So I thought I'll give it a try and see what we can do. But the one thing we have to bear in mind with Lewisias is that they really do need perfect drainage. They grow amongst gravel, shingle, crushed rock, and the water sort of passes over the roots and they quickly sort of dry out, and it stops the neck rock setting in. Now, the best time to pot them, or repot them really, is the near dormant period, which is any time from the end of September through to the end of February. But this is May, and I've got the plant, and I wanted to get it into the pot and grow in. And I just used whatever compost I had come into hand, really. You should attempt to improve it. Some people recommend that you use a 50-50 John Innes and non-peat mix then with added grit for extra drainage. So I began to think, well, how can I give it some drainage? That's one of the shards that came off the pot there, but I looked through, kept these, put them in, and just tried to improve the drainage at the base of the pot so the water could just get away. The traditional way of growing Lewisias is to put them on their side so that the actual rosette itself is at right angles to the horizontal, but I thought we'd have just a slight little tilt backwards here so the water would drain to the back of the pot and then run out through all this drainage that I'm putting in. They say just trying really to find a bit that fits. It's a bit like doing a jigsaw with the faces down. But finally we get somewhere near it. As long as the water can run straight through and out the bottom, I'm rather hoping that it can be done. What I will do come this October time when the plant becomes dormant, I will just allow it to almost dry out and then water it, not infrequently, but water it as is required. I'll put it in the cloche. I have a bell cloche, quite hardy, and I'll put it underneath the bell cloche. It can stay there for the duration of the winter time. And here comes the big moment. And as I say, this is just regular potting compost. I'm being a bit lazy really, but I didn't have any spare grit to hand. I only had silver sand, which is too smooth, so that won't improve the drainage. So I thought, well, if I can just get it through to the end of the summer, and then I can overwinter it in some ways, and then February, when it just begins to send out a new fringe around the centre rosette, and I'll pot it up using a correct mix. It's also critical to keep the area around the neck where it comes out of the soil as dry as possible, and that way you will prevent any neck rot being set in. Hopefully this will achieve that. The water will run away, run down to the base of the pot, as I've already said, and hopefully keep the neck as dry as possible. and there's a little leaf that's come off and it got trapped, and that's one way you can propagate them. It's like with most succulents, you can just use a leaf, take them off during the midsummer when they're nice and fleshy. Leave the leaf to dry out for a couple of hours before pushing it into a pot of sharp sand, and it'll root directly into the sand itself. Diolch, and thank you for watching. Goodbye for now, but if you would like to see any more, please hit the subscribe and like buttons.